Models of leadership. To me, a leader is someone who provides direction and allows others to be involved in the implementation and control of said directions. They should be effective communicators who are open and willing to regularly interact and work with staff. They need to be informative, to communicate, to be goal-orientated, to be effective coaches, to be action-orientated, and have the ability to influence others. Simon Sinek would say great leaders inspire others, whereas Stephen Covey would say they have the ability to have a circle of influence. This circle changes as their roles change. And Derek Sivers would say it changes as a movement starts. A good leader must also be a good listener. For this to occur, according to the Chinese pictograph, a person must be present in the moment. Focus on the speaker. See the source of the communication. Feel the message that's being communicated. Think about the content, and therefore truly hear what is being said. When looking at the Truman brain theory, it becomes evident that a good leader must have control of their midbrain, the emotional limbic brain, as this is the area that allows people to be organised and make decisions. However, they must also have a highly functioning neocortex, as this is the thinking brain that allows us to communicate well. But how does this make a leader? The Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership states quite clearly in the professional standards for teachers what is expected of someone with a leadership role. They lead and direct others to effectively complete their role. They collaborate and facilitate the collaboration of others to engage in professional learning. They support staff in their day-to-day responsibilities. They review processes and facilitate the review of school policies. They initiate inclusiveness of others into the school and of new school policies. They're able to model exemplary standards and approaches within their professional role. And they demonstrate through leading by example. For schools to be effective, Garmston and Wellman would argue that a school needs to be adaptive. For schools to adapt to the changing conditions and pressures exerted on them, they need to let go of the status quo and be dynamic systems. How do we achieve this? Through a professional community. An effective school is a collaborative and communal decision-making place. It has the trust in its members who share a common compelling purpose. Leaders that can develop an adaptive school with a professional community are on their way to increase student learning, according to Garmston and Wellman. There is a number of different leadership styles. The first of these is leadership by leaving alone. This allows staff to discover their own way of thinking and approaching their responsibilities. Next, you have the answer-centered leader. This leader tells people what to do and how to do it. There's also a vision-centered leader. This person is inspiring. They involve others and provide an understanding as to why we are doing things. And finally, you have the inquiry-centered leader, who facilitates staff to find direction and motivation within a collaborative and inquiry-based perspective. According to Perkins, all these styles of leadership are valid and purposeful. Ideally, I'd like to be a vision and inquiry-centered leader. From the readings, I've gained a belief that inspiring others is an extremely important facet to leading. Once this inspiration is sparked, I believe it is possible to use an inquiry-centered approach, leading to staff being more involved in decision-making and having a greater ownership of their role. However, the reality may not always be this way. While it seems the above approaches would be the most effective and inclusive, I believe there are situations this is not the case. While I was leading a group for the AAS self-study, we were exceptionally time poor and my co-leader was missing in action. During this time, I became an answer-centered leader, providing the group with the required tasks to do, the steps to take, and a specific requirement as to when this had to be done. Although effective for the task, it is not my preferred method of leading, but seems I may be inclined to use this method during times of extreme pressure and busyness. When leading another team, I certainly want to be more vision and inquiry-centered, as what I've learned is that this may be the best way forward.